Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. I'm an exercise physiologist, and today we're going to be talking about bone mineral density. Did you know that we have over 206 bones in our bodies, and that our bones are made up of collagen, a protein, minerals, and calcium? We also have osteocytes, which are cells within our bones that create new bone and also get rid of old bone. So osteoblasts, they form new bone, and then osteoclasts help to reabsorb and get rid of the old bone. All right, so it should be a homeostasis like everything else in our body, and there's a lot that goes into it. All right, so our bones are not just made of calcium. So by taking calcium, that doesn't fix the problem of low bone mineral density or the risk for osteoporosis and things like that. All right, so again, I want to remind you guys that I am not a doctor. I am an exercise physiologist. These are just going to be some tips from my research and my experience, and I hope that you can gain some understanding of our bone mineral density today and hopefully help yourself. Okay, so we want to start taking care of ourselves at a young age to protect our bones. Okay, so by exercising while we're young, and we're building bone that's gonna last with us into our older ages and our adulthood. Okay, so kids are doing sports, weight-bearing activities, all these types of things are going to help us later on because we're accumulating and strengthening our bones early on. So that's going to be really important. And we'll talk a little bit more about exercise in a minute. But I want you to understand how basically we build bone. So we talked about the osteoblasts and the osteoclasts. So the calcium is important in building the bone matrix. So inside of the bone, it looks like a honeycomb. It's like a little matrix of connective tissue, the osseous tissue, and the closer knit it is together, the stronger the bone is going to be. There's a lot more that goes into bones, but this is the basic science. All right, so the calcium that our bones need is going to be regulated by our parathyroid gland. It doesn't have anything to do with our thyroid, they say, but it is located behind the thyroid, and it's 4 little glands. So the parathyroid secretes hormones, and it helps the calcium absorption in the bone. So it stimulates the release of calcium into the bloodstream, which is taken up by the bone. And how does this happen? Okay, so it's a normal function in our body that happens through its natural process. So by exercising, again, we can stimulate this hormone. And again, it's not an overproduction or an underproduction, it's a homeostasis of it. Okay, so calcium regulation for bone is regulated by the parathyroid. Okay. We want to have a calcium homeostasis, as I had mentioned, so the bones can rebuild themselves. This is something that happens over and over and over. Okay, so the osteoblasts, they secrete that collagen, like I had mentioned before. And so, you hear collagen and you think, okay, well then I need to start taking collagen. Not necessarily. So collagen production is accelerated in the body by the vitamin C that we're intaking. So our body makes collagen with vitamin C, okay? So you want to eat more fruits, more vegetables, have more nutrition in your diet, okay? All right, so now we'll talk a little bit about exercise. So by performing high intense exercise, specifically plyometrics, and I'll link some articles below, some research articles so you guys can read about it. Jumping, plyometrics, anything that's going to send a signal throughout your body to your brain to stimulate that calcium production and initiate the process of the osteocytes doing their job. That's going to happen from that movement, from jumping and from those pounding movements. Does it mean that we have to jump rope? Some of us are not able to do that. You can just jump, okay? So make sure that you are not at risk for a fall. You can hold on to something, maybe if you need to, and then just jump as high as you can. And you can do that about 10 times, okay? Give yourself little breaks in between, so your body has enough time to send those signals to the brain to start formulating that new bone, okay? But jumping is gonna be something that's gonna be really helpful in building new bone, okay? And something simple that we can do and incorporate into our lifestyle. Okay, there are some studies done on rebounding. So rebounding is on when people are jumping on a trampoline doesn't show that it has the same benefit, maybe because you are jumping on something that is softer. You want to be jumping on a hard surface, okay? You can put sneakers on, whatever you need to do, and be careful with that, okay? So mechanical loading is going to help a lot with the bone growth and the homeostasis. So mechanical loading through multiple pathways, muscle contraction forces, gravitational loading, and the endocrine paracrine effects, as we talked about with the parathyroid gland. So during gravitational loading, mechanical forces exerted by muscle contraction affect bone mineral density. Osteocytes, they sense the mechanical forces and they incite the cellular changes. So the osteocytes relate to the osteoblasts and osteoclasts to absorb old bone and create new bone. They're not respectively, actually, vice versa. So the osteoblasts, they create it. That's not really important. I mean, it's good to know, and it is important, but I mean, you don't have to remember those things, right? We're not being tested on this, but I just want you to understand that there's a lot that's going on in there, and we need to have homeostasis in our body for all of our organ systems, our bones, our muscles, for everything to be doing its job properly. Okay, so there's studies done that I'll also link below about weightlifters and runners having higher bone mineral density than cyclists, okay, and non-athletes as well. Another study showed that by performing 10 to 50 jumps per day improved bone mineral density. And again, another study showed that by performing plyometrics over a 1-year period, that's the jumping movement on the ground, bone mineral density was improved. Okay, so you can check those links out later on. All right, and we talked about the rebounding and how it doesn't do the same thing. All right, so how do you know what your bone mineral density is? So you can get a DEXA scan. So a DEXA scan, you're going to lay on a platform and they're going to scan your whole body. You have to hold very still and it will tell you the mineral density of your bones. Okay, so the T-score you're looking for, all right, is going to be plus or minus the standard points away from the standard deviation is going to be normal. So just like on a linear line, the middle, the midpoint, the median, that's going to be normal. So if you're 1 point over or 1 point behind, it's going to be normal. The problem is when we're seeing measurements of -1 to -2.5, okay, or below, it's going to be low bone mineral density, and then greater than 2.5 is going to be osteoporosis, okay? So again, osteoporosis is not caused directly by calcium. So you don't have to take a bunch of calcium supplements, all right? Furthermore, our bodies can only absorb a certain amount of calcium at a time. Sometimes only 300 to 500 milligrams. A lot of the supplements on the market are way higher than that. And in addition, they sometimes will cause people to have hardening of the arteries, kidney stones, and things like that. So calcium isn't always absorbed as well because calcium needs to be taken with, ideally with vitamin K2, which can be found in fermented foods, and it also should be taken with vitamin D, okay? A lot of times a vitamin D deficiency could be the reason why we're not absorbing the calcium that we need from the foods, or we're not getting the proper nutrition that we need. We're not getting those calcium-rich foods in our diet. What do people normally think of? Drink more milk. But in actuality, what we need to do is have more leafy green vegetables, okay? You can also eat figs. You can have mushrooms. You can have beans, specifically white beans, okay, at least a cup a day. And those fermented foods, you know, like a low sodium sauerkraut, or you can get, you know, like a coconut yogurt or something like that, something that's going to help with the absorption of the calcium so it doesn't go into your bloodstream and build up, okay? There are some good supplements, you know, if you're not attaining enough nutrients from the food that I'll mention, but I want to talk a little bit about what causes low bone mineral density. So people think like as they're aging, as we're aging, that's just going to happen. And you know, as we age, certain things do decline because that's the natural progression of life. However, it doesn't have to lead to osteoporosis. If you are living a life that's full of eating nutrient-dense foods and exercising, studies show that the loss of bone is going to be less. Okay, so don't think of your bone as just like a stick or something hard with nothing inside. It's osseous, it has pores, it's alive, okay, and it needs to have that cellular turnover happening all the time in order to build stronger bone. Okay, carbonated water, okay, that can studies show that that can leach calcium from the bones. And then also, as a side note, it could also be harsh on the teeth enamel. So you want to be careful when consuming that. Maybe not have that your main source of water, but have it once in a while or as a treat. All right, hormone imbalance can really affect how our body functions as a whole, the communication systems, and the calcium release, okay? Lack of nutrient-dense diet, that's obvious. A high cortisol lifestyle, so a high stress lifestyle is going to leach calcium from the bones. We have that cortisol running through our body 24/7. Are we going to encounter stress? Yes, we are, because some stress is actually good for us. But if we're taking the time to recover and rest, our body's going to be able to have enough energy to recover itself and to do everything we need to do every single day. But if we're not having those moments of peace and of rest and of reflection, and we just are going, consuming, we are never able to catch up. So let's not get there, okay? Alcoholism obviously is going to leach calcium from the bones as well. And then certain diseases such as kidney failure. I also read that animal products, despite claims that milk does the body good, it can increase calcium in our body, it actually helps leach calcium as well. And leach just means, like, you know, take it out of the body, and this passes it to the urine and we actually pee it out. So animal products is very acidic. So you want to minimize or get rid of a lot of the animal products you're eating. All right, as I mentioned, you know, aging has some effects because that's just the natural law of nature, right? So, you know, it is something to consider, but it's not an inevitable end, okay? So I want you guys to think positively about it, okay? The supplements that I wanted to mention to you, Garden of Life, they have a couple really good supplements. You want to make sure that it's a food-based calcium supplement that you're taking that has the K2 and the D as well for absorption, and you don't need to be consuming massive amounts, okay? So you can look for any type of allergy cal that has a good reputation, any company like that. So I'll put that link for the Garden of Life product. And I was talking to one of my guests just last week, and she had, they said she had osteoporosis. She started taking this product from Garden of Life, and also, you know, started doing exercise and everything, and her bone mineral density improved greatly. She showed me her results, and it was just clear, and it was there. So, you know, you can really help yourself if you know the right way to do it, okay? So let's see, what else did I want to mention to you guys? All right, so the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is a website and an organization basically that I trust and I would recommend to you. It is based on vegan doctors. They come and they analyze data and research, and they talk about their recommendations on certain health topics. So if you want to check them out, I'll link them as well. That's the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. There's a lot of good doctors that speak on there, and they have podcasts to listen to as well. All right. So we talked about the foods that help with bone mineral density. Okay, so try to consume more of those every single day. You know, just add the exercise as well, and you know, the nutrition and the fitness part is going to work together, just like with everything else we talk about on this channel. All right, so in summary, it's really good to get a blood test done at least every single year. They can test your blood for calcium, your D, and all these different types of things. So you can start that at a young age so that you can keep up with it and see where you need to maybe adjust some things there. We talked about the jumping activities is going to be really great, and the weight training is going to be best. So anything that you're going to be doing plyometrics and things like that are going to have the most benefit to building that bone mass. A lot of people, they have a fear of falling, and I really encourage you to not have that fear of falling, but to be cautious of falling, because nobody wants to fall no matter what age we are. But you shouldn't be afraid, just be cautious, okay? Start early, okay? Doesn't need to be said, but I really stress, you know, to start this early, this lifestyle, okay? And then again, you know, low bone mineral density can be caused by a high stress lifestyle that's filled with a lot of cortisol that comes into our body from our adrenal glands, the lack of nutrient-dense foods, the green leaf vegetables, you know, all the things that are going to give us the natural food-based calcium that we're going to absorb, and that's not going to build up in our arteries and then our, you know, cause kidney stones. All right, and then aging isn't, you know, necessarily, I mean, you don't have to get osteoporosis just because you're getting older, okay? And, you know, men and women need different values, so you can look up the values for calcium if you're interested in taking a supplement. But if you're taking the food-based supplement and you take it how it's recommended, you don't really need to worry about that, because it's not going to be as high of concentration of the ones you'll see like calcium carbonate or other ones. I'd really avoid those, and if you're taking them, I really encourage you to stop taking them. Talk to your doctor about it, you know, let them know that, maybe inform them on the research, okay? And it's the National Institutes of Health, so it's not just some person putting out this research, okay? This is stuff that has been approved and makes sense, okay? All right, so calcium is very important to our whole body. It sets a lot of actions, action potentials in our cells and everything, our brain function, our heart, everything is very important. Calcium is, but it's not the entire reason why people get osteoporosis, okay? So eat well, get rest, exercise, live a holistic lifestyle, take care of your spiritual health, and see how your life changes for the better. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks for your time today. Please like this video and share it with anyone that you want to maybe help with this information, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.